Your topic for today is Doctrine of Sovereign Immunity. So first, I'm going to tell you about the meaning and the origin. So the sovereign immunity is a justification, that is the justification for the wrongs that are committed by the state or by the state's representatives. Seemingly, these are based on the grounds of public policy. And therefore, even when all the elements of actionable claim are presented, liability can be avoided by giving this justification, sovereign immunity justification. So the doctrine of sovereign immunity is based on the common law principle borrowed from the British jurisprudence, which was that the king commits no wrong and that he cannot be guilty of a personal negligence or a misconduct, and as such he cannot be responsible for the negligence or misconduct of his servants. So with this British jurisprudence, that meant that king is not wrong. So another aspect of this doctrine was that it was an attribute of sovereignty, that a state cannot be sued in its own court without its consent. So, Article 300, in this article, initially in India, the distinction between the sovereign and the non sovereign function was maintained in relation to the principal immunity of the government for the tortious act of its servants. In India, there is no legislation which will govern the liability of the state. Only Article 300 of the Constitution of India 1950 is the one which specifies the liability of the union or the liability of the state with respect to an act of the government. So the Article 300 of the Constitution, which was originally originated from section 176 of Government of India Act 1935. Under this section 176 of the Government of India Act 1935, the liability was coextensive with that of a Secretary of State for India, and under the Government of India Act 1915, which in turn made it coextensive with that of the East India Company prior to the Government of India Act 1858. So section 65 of Government of India Act 1858 provided that all persons shall and may take such remedies and proceedings against Secretary of State for India as they would have taken against the East India Company. It will thus be seen that by the chain of enactment beginning with the Act of 1858, the Government of India and government of each state are in line of succession of in East India Company. In other words, liability of the government is same as that of the East India Company before 1858. So now let's read what Article 300 states. So the government of India may sue or be sued by the name of the Union of India and by the name of government of a state like state of Rajasthan, state of Tamil Nadu, may sue or be sued the name of the state and any may, subject to any provision which may be made by the Act of Parliament or of the legislature of such state, enacted by the virtue of powers that are conferred by this Constitution, sue or be sued in relation to their respective affairs in like cases as the Dominion of India and the corresponding provinces or the corresponding Indian states might have sued or been sued if this constitution had not been enacted. The next point is that if at the commencement of this constitution, so when the commencement was taking place, at the commencement of this constitution, first, any legal proceeding are pending to which the domain of India is party, the Union of India shall be deemed to be substituted for the domain in those proceedings. And if any legal proceeding are pending to which a province or an Indian state is a party, the corresponding state shall be deemed to be substituted for the province or the Indian state in those proceedings. So, this is talking about uh, legal proceedings that are pending to the Dominion of India and legal proceedings that are pending to a province or Indian state. The next is an overview of Article 300 provides that the first part of the article relates to the way in which suits and proceedings by or against the government may be instituted. It enacts that a state may sue and be sued by the name of Union of India, and a state may sue and be sued by the name of the state. The second part provides in inter alia that Union of India or a state may sue or be sued if the relation to its affairs in cases on the same line as that of Domain of India or a corresponding Indian state, as the case is. The third part provides that the parliament or the legislature of the state are competent authorities to make appropriate provisions in regard to the topics that is covered by Article 301. Of sovereign immunity. So there are two types of sovereign immunity. The state generally benefits from these two forms of immunity. The first one is immunity of jurisdiction, and the second one is immunity from execution. So when you talk about immunity to jurisdiction, the state immunity to jurisdiction results from the belief that it would be inappropriate for one state's court to call another state under its jurisdiction. Therefore, the state entities are immune from the jurisdiction of the courts of another state. However, this immunity can generally be waived by the state entity. Reference to arbitration is in many legal systems sufficient to demonstrate a waiver of immunity to jurisdiction by state. However, certain development countries may be hesitant to submit themselves to international arbitration, believing this that the arbitration is dominated by western principles and would not give a developing country a fair hearing. The next is immunity from execution. So the state will also have immunity from execution, as it would be improper for the courts of one state to seize the property of another state. So immunity from execution may also generally be waived. Waiving immunity from execution may be difficult for a government to address. As a general proposition, under most legal systems, certain assets belong to the state should not be available for satisfaction of the execution of an arbitral award. For example, the country's foreign embassies or consular possessions. Therefore, some method may have to be made available for the private party to seize certain state assets, possibly through careful definition of those possessions available for seizure. That's all. Thank you.